Now let's.
And the fact that they had surveillance set up, and the surveillance was very effective today, and that probably was the most important issue here when it came down to protecting the former president. Secret Service agent spots the what appears to be the barrel weapon and takes decisive action and opens fire. What you have did exactly what they were supposed to do. The coordination was excellent. We haven't, of course, heard all of the information. In fact, it's very, very, this information that we're getting right now is still, very, very light. We don't know anything about the identity. We don't know anything about the motivations of the suspect. But we have seen this. We have seen an incredible amount of divisiveness during this election period. I think probably than any I have ever seen in my lifetime.
Randy, let's talk a little bit more about the collaboration and coordination between several local law enforcement agents. So this incident happening in Palm Beach County, that's where the golf course is at, where Trump was golfing earlier today. The suspect caught in Martin County. We're talking about really strategic and effective communication between agencies there. Walk us through how that goes.
So we saw in the Pennsylvania attempt, we saw a breakdown of communications, and of course that's being investigated now, and there's a great deal of attention being placed on that. It appears that during this particular incident, that the communication worked very, very well. Now remember that all of these police agencies and federal and state law enforcement agencies all have their own different radio frequencies. So making communication between all of these agencies is a challenge. The fact that this individual was spotted, agents fired upon him, clearly eliminated the threat to the former president. The individual tried to escape, and because of the excellent work of the law enforcement agencies in Florida, they captured him within a very short period of time. When you look at this, even at this cursory look, if you will, because we know so little about the situation as it unfolded, this appears to be a major win for law enforcement, Secret Service, Sheriff's Department, local law enforcement, all working in concert together to bring this situation to a successful conclusion, which is that President Trump is safe and the bad guy is behind bars.
I want to speak a little bit about some of the challenges that local law enforcement agencies have when trying to provide that extra detail or that aid to Secret Service agents and Secret Service members when trying to protect someone like former President Trump. Talk to their disposal that they would be able to aid in a certain event like this.
Well, when you have a planned event, as this was, President Trump doesn't go anywhere unless there is an advanced team that from agencies that just we're not talking about anything. Let me go ahead and get some ice cream. Not happening. So you have a planned event. Well, that means that you have to do amazing coordination between all of the agencies involved. And there are agencies that we don't even know were involved. And so that requires an incredible amount of coordination. Now, local law enforcement, their primary mission is to enforce local laws and state laws. But you have jurisdictions that are rather large, as in this case with Palm Beach County and Martin County. They have personnel that are specially trained in SWAT tactics, in emergency management. And so this is nothing new to them. This is part of their responsibility, coordinating with the Secret Service and other agencies when there's a dignitary involved. So, this is not something that has not been done before. This is part and parcel of what the law enforcement function is, and that's cooperating with other agencies and giving your resources to them when it is necessary.
Randy, I also want to talk about maybe the dangers when it comes to apprehending a suspect that right now is being accused of an attempted assassination against a former president. I do have some footage here. This is a courtesy of the Martin County Sheriff's Office. Now, this is a picture of when finally law enforcement was able to catch up to the suspected vehicle and apprehend this suspect. What are the protocols in this situation?
Well, it doesn't get any more dangerous for the police officers who are making the car stop. Remember that the officers who are making the vehicle stop, they are the front line. They are the individuals who are literally facing gunfire every single day. We've had almost 300 police officers shot in the line of duty this year so far, which is an astounding number. We've seen the ambushes of more than 47 ambushes of local law enforcement and state law enforcement in the last year itself. So the officers who are called upon to make this vehicle stop are facing incredible danger, and they know it. And so they will. But remember this: that all of these officers are trained in making vehicle stops under felony conditions. Felony car stops, if you will, are part of the training of every law enforcement officer in America. But it all depends on how committed the individual is that you're stopping to determine.
Well, let's revamp the training because obviously there's a problem going on. Far removed from this issue here, but if all of the officers in America are receiving the same exact traffic stop training, then it needs to be changed. Horrible.
The president of the United States, well, the heightened danger there is through the roof. And so you can bet that they were ready to take whatever action was necessary to take this individual into custody or to end the threat.
Randy, in respect to local law enforcement and the officers there, we know that the FBI is now taking over this investigation. How involved is the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and the Martin County Sheriff's Office going to be going forward?
So as far as the prosecution of this individual, this will be a federal crime. The FBI will be the lead agency. The United States Attorney's Office and the Department of Justice will be the agency that prosecutes him. Local law enforcement, their function was to make the vehicle stop, make the arrest, and then complete whatever reports are needed in order to provide the continuity for the prosecution. So, the criminal justice system is just that, a system. The law enforcement component makes the arrest, provides the probable cause to the prosecution. In this case, the prosecution would be the U.S. Attorney's Office. It's then their job to put the criminal case together, to bring forth the prosecution, and then it's the judiciary, in this case it will be a federal judiciary, will try the individual and then sentence him. So the system has to work together, and all of the different components, state, local, and federal system, all of these agencies have to coordinate to create a prosecution where this individual will be brought to justice.
Randy, we always invite you to come on to really offer that perspective when it comes to these local law enforcement agencies and how they really are there to protect the wider public, but they also do step in when these larger incidents do occur. Is there anything that you would like to add before I let you go?
Well, the only thing I would like to add is that the number of law enforcement officers shot and being physically injured in the line of duty is absolutely almost to the point where even I can't believe it. And I've been in this law enforcement community for more than 40 years. the dangers that are facing these officers every single day, whether they are working with their federal partners in a situation like this, or they're even simply making vehicle stops, or is exceedingly dangerous. And I wanted to say this because of the situation. My organization is the Wounded Blue, and officers throughout this nation, whether those injuries are physical, emotional, or social. That means if you are federal, local, or state, come to us. Never forgotten and never alone.
All right, I hope you found that conversation insightful from earlier today. I spoke with Lieutenant Randy Sutton, the founder of the Wounded Blue. Here on your screen right now, and taking another live look down there in West Palm Beach in Florida at the Trump International Golf Course. As you can see, still a very active situation. A bit earlier on, we did see that they brought some dogs out there, sniffing out the property, trying to make sure that they get every piece of evidence possible regarding this latest investigation into the second attempted assassination against former President Trump. It does look like they will be out there for several hours later on into the evening, and everybody in that area, this is West Palm Beach, Florida, is asked to avoid it. We did hear from the Palm Beach County Sheriff earlier today. He says that all the agencies there are working to secure this perimeter where the active investigation is going on, but they do assure that come Monday morning, everything will move swiftly for anyone that has to commute throughout this area to get to school, to go to the post office, to go to the library, etc. The FBI is taking the lead on this investigation. Of course, we know that a suspect is in custody at this moment. We are still waiting for the mugshot to be released, just one of the pieces that we're waiting for here as we continue to follow the latest on this story. We're going to step away for a quick commercial break here at Live Now from Fox, but stick with us because we continue with this next.
You know, here at TDB, we don't do commercial breaks. Let's see some other Kelly Morgan's live.
Grassley put out. I have tweeted about it. I tweeted about it again today. It is basically the interview that the FBI conducted with this man named Asif Merchant, who they arrested on July 12th, the day before the Butler assassination attempt. So you can see exactly the interview. He was in an Iranian safe house talking with a man they identified as Youssef about whether they should target a outdoor rally or an indoor rally, whether they should use a pistol or whether they should use a rifle. They said they evaluated all the Secret Service assets that Donald Trump was using. And we know from the secret, we know now it's been we're all well aware that he was being treated as a former president, just like Barack Obama or Jimmy Carter. He was not being afforded. It was not threat-based, as the Secret Service claims they always operate threat-based. But we know now that that was not the case with Donald Trump before Butler. So they were evaluating, this Asif Merchant was evaluating in an Iranian safe house the assets that the Secret Service was using pre-Butler to protect Trump. And they assessed that they probably had a 50-50 chance of being successful in their assassination attempt. I mean, wow. It was chilling. It was downright chilling.
And do we know the percentage beef up in Secret Service from assassination attempt number 1 to today?
Yeah, we're about to move the party outside. Come on.
Yeah, well, I just was getting into this on Twitter and people are taking issue with me.
We move the party outside.
I am told that it's far more than he had before. Okay, obviously. He only got his counter sniper the day before the Butler rally. When they were arresting, the FBI was arresting the man I just mentioned, okay, for assassination attempt. But it's far more than what he had before. It's almost what I'm hearing. It's almost what a sitting president gets, minus the military assets. Of course, he doesn't have Marine One, doesn't have Air Force One, doesn't have the extra agents that carry the nuclear football with him, doesn't have a military aid. But the key question, I think, for today is whether he had the security perimeter. Does he have, they didn't have a security perimeter, because this guy, Ryan Ruth, got right up to the fence and was poking his rifle through the AK-47, right through. And that's the only thing the Secret Service saw that indicated that there was a threat. And it was, he was it was in between the 5 and 6 hole on the golf course. And thank goodness the Secret Service, we had a good team around him.
Was it Secret Service? Do we know,
Steve
Susan? Was it Secret Service, like proper?
Yes, absolutely. The Secret Service. Yes, the sheriff Bradshaw, the Palm Beach Sheriff Bradshaw did say it was Secret Service, and he said they acted in a fantastic manner today, and was shooting, but did not shoot him. Okay, one of my Secret Service sources in that community said, well, they didn't shoot him. Well, he was hiding in the bushes. Yeah. But the key question,
I would say, is that confirmed that he definitely did not? He did not pull the trigger first, because some online are saying be careful.
Okay, well, that's what the law enforcement is saying. That's the official word. My Secret Service sources haven't said anything against that so far. They haven't. They don't say. I mean,
is it in any way a breach of protocol for them to shoot somebody who's got an AK-47 style rifle 300 feet from the president?
No,
obviously right. They can shoot first.
No, what the whole issue for Butler that I was reporting early that people were taking issue with was it is in their culture, if they don't see a gun, not to shoot. If they can't make out that it's an actual gun, if it's not a toy gun, but if they, at this point, that's out the window. They're going to shoot. They're going to shoot if they see a gun. The suspect becomes a threat when you see the gun and pointed towards the president. Or the former president. That's what if anything do they say?
No. What if anything do they say about the fact that we're grateful that these Secret Service agents noticed the gun and saw this guy hiding, but also there are questions about why he was relatively unprotected so close to the open road. This guy just came up to the chain link fence and shoved his gun in one of the links and almost took out Donald Trump. Like, to me, that does seem like a failure of imagination or planning.
Well, what I want to know is, does Joe Biden get a security perimeter when he plays golf? Is it the exact same security assets does Biden have?
Good question.
Did Trump get that same security assets today? Because we know they're available because Biden's not using them. Okay. So that's the big question in my mind. And how many assets were there? We were the counter surveillance units. They were not there at Butler. Were they there today? Did Donald Trump say, well, I really like to play golf, so I need to interact with, he had his friend and donor with him, his good friend, Stephen Witkoff with him. Maybe they wanted to be able to be more accessible to the public. I don't know. I'm asking the Trump campaign, is that something? There's a balance to be struck always with the candidate wants. You can't put Trump now. Of course, they're going to reevaluate everything in terms of they instituted the bulletproof glass last time on outdoor rallies. I'm wondering, if they have designed some type of Pope mobile that he has to be in now if he wants to go out. It's a sad situation, but there's always this balance to be struck. The Secret Service would like him to stay indoors and operate like, maybe like Biden did during the 2020 election. Is that?
It's not Trump.
Yeah, it's not Trump. He wants to interact. So you have to strike a balance. But what I want to know is, obviously, this was a perimeter problem. We had a perimeter problem in Butler. They put the AGR building outside the perimeter. There's questions surrounding why that happened, in addition to why there was nobody on the roof. I'm told by my Secret Service sources, as recently as yesterday, that I've gone back and forth. I've talked to the Butler law enforcement. They say one thing. The Secret Service sources say another, that it was law enforcement's fault that day. They were in charge. The Secret Service charged them with protecting that building, and they chose to go inside because it was hot. I believe that's the case. I've had multiple sources tell me that. And so, please come forward and show me the plan that had the Secret Service say they have a post plan where they show where everybody's supposed to be. The one thing that I will say, it's still on the Secret Service because they did not go through their checks. I'm told, long ago in the Secret Service, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you had, after when everybody was ready, when there was 5 minutes, they call it Bravo, 5 minutes till Trump goes on, you do a security check. Everybody in their post that they were assigned to, yep, and they go through, their supervisor goes through. Everybody's there where they're supposed to be. That did not occur at Butler, or the lead agent, when we know who she is, the lead agent from the Pittsburgh field office was not checking that day, and allowed them, when they protested, to go inside. So I'm still worried about this. They're still leaving these perimeters open, and Trump has got to reevaluate how he's going to operate from now on. I mean, he has to do some soul searching.
He needs private security.
Yeah,
I don't.
It's sad because the Secret Service that he has now, I'm sure he has the best that the agency has to offer now, because the gig is up, right? You didn't. I have been told by multiple sources that Cheadle did not like Trump. Okay, so everyone asked me.
Kraken claims support. Let's see if ABC. Let me see it. Or not ABC, Fox, whoever was that. If they are back.
To deputy.
Back from commercial. The only reason why I like it is they're gonna be the most individual about it, They like something else. But I'm gonna also see what talking about it, how they're power and the still on the commercial. Let's see. If there's any. What is these?
I'm Bill Gage, a former Secret Service agent. And for the first time, we'll be breaking down the entire timeline of the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. We'll be analyzing every critical detail from the moment Thomas Crooks began planning his attack to the decisive actions taken by the Secret Service to evacuate President Trump to safety. Let's get started. July 3rd, Trump plans to hold a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. These events, they're planned weeks in advance, most likely the last week of June.
Well, let's bring you some news just coming in. The FBI says that former President Donald Trump was the subject of an apparent assassination attempt at his Florida golf club. That just confirmed in the last few moments. Previously, we were questioning the motivation behind the incident, and police were keen not to speculate, but that confirmation now coming in from the FBI that former President Donald Trump was the subject of an apparent assassination attempt at his Florida golf club.
We said that they were going to try again.
We'd heard from the Secret Service acknowledging that shots were fired on their part. They're acting in conjunction with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, investigating what they'd previously described as a protective incident involving former President Donald Trump.
The thing is,
that occurred shortly before 2 p.m. Also confirming that the president.
Yeah, no, we don't know much more about Trump. Like people don't generally know more about Trump than they did before, honestly, because he was already a mogul, he was already pretty famous, we already dug into his life. You know what I mean? Of course, over the last couple of years, it's gotten deeper, but like this hatred over Trump, it's not like this. You can't convince me that this is just like random acts that like citizens that hate Trump are committing. Nah, this is some type of system behind it, because it's like, if people hated Trump that much, people would have been trying to kill him a long time ago before he had all the security. Facts. Right? But I digress. Are we off of commercial break? I don't believe so. They be going like 10-minute commercial breaks. Who else is covering this? This is all very fresh, very brand new chat, very brand new chat. This happened like a couple hours ago. As you can see, all this coverage is like mad fresh. I thought I saw Fresh and Fit actually live covering it. Let me see. Tap in with the homies. Are they live? No, not no more. I don't think. Yeah, I guess they just streamed when it initially dropped. I guess I probably should have went live like an hour ago. But a lot of y'all are just now seeing this, just now figuring out, oh shoot. And honestly, it's like the majority of people that are gonna know about the situation aren't gonna know until tomorrow anyway, because coverage is so subjective. But let's see if
Follow the latest on this story. Rehashing this and re-racking it for our viewers who may just be joining now or who may have missed when we had played it earlier today. So again, this next, the presser from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and all the latest details we know on this investigation of the second attempted assassination of former President Trump.
Always talk about ahead of time. We are going to give you, when I say we have a representative from the FBI, from the Secret Service, from the State Attorney's Office. We are going to give you everything we have, everything. All right. So when we get done, think about your questions, because we're not going to take a lot, and keep them to the information that you heard. Don't get into what ifs, and because of this, we're not going to go there. All right. So keep that in mind and we'll be good. So here we go. All right. 1:30 this afternoon, call came out, shots fired. That was called in by the Secret Service. Because we're in constant contact with them all the time, we were notified of that, and we had units here that immediately sealed off the area. Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great. So we had that information. Our real-time crime center put it out to the license plate readers. And we were able to get a hit on that vehicle on I-95 as it was headed into Martin County. We got a hold of Martin County Sheriff's Office, alerted them, and they spotted the vehicle and pulled it over and detained the guy. After that, we took the the witness that witnessed the incident, flew him up there, and he identified as the person that he saw running out of the bushes and jumped into the car. Now, in the bushes where this guy was is a AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them, and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of. So those are being processed right now. The Secret Service agent that was on the course did a fantastic job. What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off. So that's what we know about the investigation. We have somebody in custody right now that is a potential suspect. We got a little bit more work to do on it, but as we usually do, as soon as we decide that we're going to book him into the county jail and the charges that he's going to be booked into, we'll get those to you and we'll get a picture of him and we'll get you his background. So now I'm going to turn it over to the representative of the Secret Service, and he's going to make a brief statement.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I first want to thank all of our law enforcement partners, to include the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office and the Martin County Sheriff's Office, for their involvement today. Former President Donald Trump is safe and unharmed following a protective incident shortly before 2 p.m. on Sunday at Trump International Golf Club at West Palm Beach. The U.S. Secret Service personnel opened fire on a gunman located near the property line, and this matter is under investigation. I'll turn it over to my partners over at the FBI.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Veltri. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI's Miami field office. The FBI has assumed the role as the lead federal law enforcement agency in the investigation of the incident that occurred earlier today at Trump International Golf Course here in West Palm Beach, Florida. We've deployed a number of resources, including investigative teams, crisis response team members, bomb technicians, and evidence response team members as well. What we need right now is for the public to avoid the area around the golf course. We will continue to support this investigation with the full resources of the FBI, alongside our partners with the United States Secret Service and the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, as well as Martin County Sheriff's Office and state and local law enforcement. I would ask that if anyone has any information that may assist with this investigation, to contact our tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI or at tips, that's tips.fbi.gov. Thank you.
David?
Hi, I'm Dave Ehrenberg, State Attorney for Palm Beach County. I want to thank Sheriff Bradshaw and our partners at the local, state, and federal levels. I'm here because our prosecutors are currently working up warrants and a motion for pretrial detention for the suspect. In that way, he will be kept in custody. But our filing of these warrants and charges at the state level does not preclude federal charges that could be coming. But in the meantime, it looks like the warrants and pretrial detention motion will happen first. And again, I want to thank the cooperation we've had with our federal partners and at the local level. And thank you all for being here today.
Okay, we're going to make these pictures available to you. It'll show you a picture of the backpack and the rifle. And there's also a GoPro on the fence there where he was intent on filming what was going on. Even though we're going to have to secure areas around the golf course here, the public doesn't need to panic. We know that we got a post office, a library, and a school down the street. So we'll make it convenient for you to get to all the places you need to go, get your kids to school, get them over here to the post office or wherever else you need to go. It's safe. There's no more danger here, and we'll make it very convenient for you. So having said that, we're going to take a very limited amount of questions, and you can direct them to who you want to answer the question.
Sheriff, did this individual make any statements as he was being detained?
No statement right now as far as his involvement in the incident, and there's further investigation to be completed.
What was his demeanor like?
Yeah, I'm not sure if maybe the service gentleman answered. I misunderstood, or I couldn't quite understand. So there was a rifle. So one of your agents saw on the golf course saw a rifle pointing to a fence with a chain link. Okay, so he saw that, the agent.
That is correct. Yes.
And the president or former president was on the course behind him. How close?
It was 1 or 2 holes behind. That because the bubble moves through the golf course, so our agents will get there first, clear it. He noticed that the rifle was pointed out. Our agents engaged. We are not sure right now if the individual was able to take a shot at our agents, but for sure our agents were able to engage with the subject. I don't know that.
Doesn't appear so.
Is there a motive?
Yep. How?
How far away was the president? How far away was Donald Trump when this gentleman was caught and stopped?
I got it. Okay. Probably between 300 and 500 yards. But with a rifle and a scope like that, that's not a long distance.
For the Secret Service,
It's a fair distance.
How far was your agent?
What kind of scope he had? Like,
That I'm not sure right now. We're still looking into that.
not probably. They're gonna need to put out this person. Let's stop sharing and let's reshare.
So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little bit more people around the perimeter. But the Secret Service did exactly what they should have done. They provided exactly what the protection should have been, and their agent did a fantastic job.
I bet.
guess, east, west, or south.
Sorry about that.
The layout of the golf course, you got 3 holes, 5, 6, and 7. All right. One of them runs parallel to Summit Boulevard. One of them runs parallel to Congress. And he was in an area in the shrubbery where he could see both holes. So the president was another hole back, which means he's about between 400 and 500 yards away.
So he was on the golf course?
Oh, he's on the golf course.